Greetings, friends. When you think about it, our whole human experience turns on expectations, right? We have expectations of people, we have expectations for ourselves, we have expectations in life that when certain things happen, then perhaps we will be happy. And so sometimes our expectations get us in trouble, right? But we all have expectations. And I wonder if we realize that God has expectations for us. Well, God does have expectations for us, and they are huge. Now, often I've been saying that there's three things about Jesus we have to have. We have to have the mind of Christ, right? To think like Christ. As a tall order, right? And we have to have the compassion of Christ. That's another tall order, right? And here's the tallest order of all, the hardest one of all. We have to have the obedience of Christ. Obey. Okay. In our culture, that's a 4-letter word, right? Obey. No. That cramps my freedom. I don't even want to think about that, But God has expectations that we be obedient. Now, if you look at this Sunday's readings, we see that in Isaiah, the servant of God, the Messiah, is one who obeys God, even to the point of being beaten and humiliated. Okay? Now, we're going to come back to this because we know that Jesus is the Messiah. But first, let's go to the James reading. Because James saying that, hey, you know something? Faith is an important thing. Do you know what faith is? It's simple. It's having a right attitude toward God. And most of us will probably think, well, I got an okay attitude toward God. I got a good attitude toward God. But he's saying faith, having a good attitude toward God, is really nothing without works. And what are works? Works are actions. And when we act in obedience. Action, works, obedience. It's all one thing. So, he says that faith without obedience, that means acting on your faith, is not faith at all. Now, a good illustration of this is in the Gospels. Peter is confronted by Christ. Jesus says, who do men say we are? I am. Okay? Well, Peter comes up with the right answer. Wow. You got an A for the day. He said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Do you know what that is? It's a revelation that God gave to him, and it was in accordance to his faith. He just believed Jesus. And that's a great thing to believe. It's wonderful. Okay, we can't get there without the Spirit of God. But he flunked the second part of the exam. Okay. Because when Jesus explained to him what the Son of Man has to go through, which is prophesied in the Isaiah passage, that he must take up his cross and die. And Peter said, I don't think this is good. But that's the obedience of Christ. Now, Jesus doesn't just leave it there. He says, likewise for you. You too must follow me and take up your cross and die. Die to yourself. Crosses are painful. And I know that we all carry our crosses by virtue of the suffering and pain that comes our way. And that may be a part of it, but Jesus is saying is that if we are to be really obedient like Jesus, have the obedience of Christ, then we must intentionally pour out our life, pour out our lifeblood for Jesus' kingdom and for one another. Otherwise, our creeds and the things we say we believe about Jesus, our good attitude toward Christ, really means nothing. But we have to take up our cross and follow him. We have to do that for one another. So, that's what God expects of us. He's got high expectations. But he empowers us. He gives us strength to do it. Doesn't say, gird up your loins and do it in your own natural power. No. He's there for us to do exactly what he did. See you on Sunday. God bless you.